Okay, y'all, what are we staring at? Kind of an odd collection of objects, isn't it? We're next to a couple of grills out on my front porch and a cooler. So, what's going on here? How about you just watch and see? It's not what you think it is. I'm not grilling something out. Well, actually, I am, but it's a little bit different today. So, why don't you just focus on that piece of wood right there? Got my shim. Be right back. Almost forgot my shim that goes on the pinion shaft. Oh man, I think it's already, yeah, it's all the way down on there. Okay, y'all. That is how you put a pinion bearing on a pinion shaft. Okay? That's what you do. And you hear the noise it's making? That's the two parts coming together in temperature. Okay? So the pinion shaft is warming up to the pinion bearing. The pinion bearing was in my grill. It got up really, really hot. Turn the grill off here. And I had the pinion shaft or pinion freezing in my freezer overnight. So, and you'll see I very quickly I had it in the cooler. I got it out of the freezer, put it directly into the cooler with some ice packs, and then carried it out here. The pinion bearing had been ready for a few minutes. That grill got it really hot. Did a fantastic job. And as you can see, I pushed it on with my hand with these pieces of exhaust tubing. So, so all in all, I think that's a success. I reused the old shim because all of my new shims in the kit were not the same. They weren't the same. So they were all different. They wouldn't come out to the same thickness as the old shim. So, and so this is out of the 9 1/4 Mopar rear end that's going in my truck. Okay, so let's get on with getting that out to the garage, and we'll get that son of a gun. I've got the races freezing in the house in the freezer, so I'm going to get those out and get them in the housing, and then I can start putting that thing back in the housing and start getting it back together, and hopefully everything will be right. So anyway, let's get I'm gonna pause this. I'll get right back, show you some more. Okay, y'all, we're back out in the garage, and I've got the rear end here. I've got the area clean for the new races, and then I've also got the new races in there. They have been frozen. They've been freezing overnight, so that's all taken care of. The only thing left really is to put them in. So I need to set you all up where you can see what's going on. And I think right over here is going to be a really pretty good place for all of that. I hope it is anyway. So let me make sure the camera is focusing on what I'm doing. Not so much me, but what I'm doing. Now, let me stress something to you very important about this. When you're doing this, note everything that you're taking apart. Okay? There was a shim somewhere. Note it. Write it down. Take notes. Whatever you got to do. Photos in your camera. Whatever you got to do. Take notes. Be diligent. Be careful. A lot of this, once you get it set up, that's pretty much it. And if you don't have a hydraulic press, if you're like me, I don't have a hydraulic press, so then you have to go and you have to go somewhere, make a trip somewhere, have something pressed off. Then you go through that whole process I just went through with the pinion bearing and to put it back together. So, anyway, all right, enough chit chat. So, if you have a neat little cooler like this, a really good cooler, something like this, it's, there I was touching it with my bare fingers. I don't want to because I want to preserve as much coldness into that race as possible. So here we go. All right. Race is in. Take the old race, sit it on top there. It's going in. I just have to keep after my housing here because it wants to kind of move around a little bit. So I've got to also, when you're doing this, pay attention to the sound the race makes. Okay? Now I've got the old race kind of stuck, but that's okay. I can get it out. It's not a big deal. I should have put the lid back on the cooler. Silly me. Okay. All right, new race is driven in. Let me see about getting that old race out. Yeah, this is kind of a first. Never had to do this before, but no worries. I've got to flip this thing over anyway. Yeah, that race is fully seated, which is what you want. Exactly what you want. You want that race fully seated. Where's, oh, there's my hammer. Oh boy, this is going to be difficult. Yeah, I went from, oh, it's no problem, to, oh boy, this is going to be difficult. So, let's see. Can I get anything with this? Hey, all right. Okay. Old race. Got to come back out. So, oh, this is, okay. Let me explain why all of this is being done. Okay. Let me see. Back up here so you can see. Well, I'll just show you the new race down in there. Looks glorious, doesn't it? Yeah. Those lines you see in the video, that's on the race. That's where the new bearing was sitting in the race when they package it. All right. You see all those little pits in the race surface? Those little pits, they cause noise. Okay? This particular race has been in use for more than 20 years on that truck right there. Okay? And more than 300 something miles, like 330,000 miles or something like that. So more than 300,000 miles, and you know, so I guess that's a pretty good service record, I guess. I know there's probably some big rigs out there that'll probably laugh at that, but hey, I'm taking it as a success. That was a Timken race. These were Timken bearings in here. I'm putting Koyo bearings in here because the Timken bearings, some of them, notice I said some of them are being made in China. Okay. Now, let me stress something. There's a lot of talk about stuff made in foreign countries, and let me stress this to you, okay? And this is something that any of us need to be aware of if we're going to do this sort of stuff, whether it's working on a rear end, a car, an engine, an ignition system, a fuel system, a cooling system, whatever, okay? Or it could be something non-automotive altogether, okay? Maybe a computer or something like that in your house, you know, or maybe you're a big stereo head and you like the really big stereos. Whatever the case may be, let me stress something to you. Just because it's made in a foreign country doesn't always mean that it's bad, okay? But there have been a lot of cases where something made in China has been less than ideal, okay? Now, I'm not saying that something made in China is automatically horrifically bad. I'm just saying that there is quite a few cases where that's came about. So some people will say we need to push the panic button. I say we need to encourage people who are in positions of authority and power and influence to start looking at and getting with the program of getting our auto manufacturers to manufacture more parts, getting into the parts manufacturing business, and while still continuing to build cars, but still building more and more parts of their own rather than relying on outside sources for these parts. So that's my little spiel there, okay? Because think about it. You have somebody like General Motors or what's left of the Chrysler Corporation, you know, what Stellantis now, or Ford, you know, any of those corporations, and you start talking to these people, you know, they're just interested in selling cars. They're only seeing the one side of it. If you're only interested in selling cars, you know, and nobody's really all that, you know, interested. I mean, myself, I'm not interested in buying like a lot of the new cars these days because, well, they're frankly, they're not that great. All right. But, you know, if you can get them to start manufacturing parts for something like this or that, you know, some older stuff, then it might encourage some of those same people to buy some of their new cars. Just saying. But, all right, so flip this around. Okay, enough of my preaching. So flip this around and gloves back on, get the new race out, set it down in the housing. I guess I could do this without the gloves, but, you know, handling that pinion shaft, if I had to handle that pinion shaft without these gloves, I probably would have burned myself. Okay, frost, little frost here on the race. Drop that guy down in there. Try to get it centered up as best as you possibly can. See, like that. Okay, you don't want to go in there trying to hammer on it and it being cocked to one side. However, if it does get cocked to one side, just be aware that you need to start hammering on the other side to get things straightened out. Okay, so, all right, old race. Here we go, there's that. I'm probably just going to do this here. Can I do this? Yeah. No, can't. All right. But I can do this. Yeah, I can do that. Something like that came out. All right. This is going to be difficult, I know. So I'm going to set y'all up over here. Get the camera positioned. Know what I'm doing here. Well, that's not a very good angle, is it? You all really should see down into the in there. Maybe I can set this up here. I'm hoping this works, okay? Just bear with me, folks, okay? So, all right. Let's see, can I do it like this? No. Well, hey, what do you know? Okay. All right. Wow. Ear protection. Yeah, that little noise that's all making is pretty intense. Yeah, I think I'm running out of the ability for this thing to press the race down in there. So it's, the corners are starting to hit the sides there. I need a seal driver. If you don't have one, this is the sort of stuff you got to do. Race driver, seal driver. Ah, damn it. Okay, I'm going to have to resort to my backup go-to. I'll be right back. Okay, y'all, I apologize for pausing it and not showing you me hammering that in, but it was just simply me hammering that in and using the old race as, and this piece of wood, which I was trying to avoid, but it worked out really well. You take the old race, you flip it over like this, okay, and you put it on the edge of the new race. Once you get the race hammered down in there where you can't get to it with something like this or something like that. And I had it cocked. Earlier I had the race cocked, so that's why I had to go get the piece of wood, because I knew that was going to be my only option. So I've got a little bit of debris in there I've got to clean out now, which is really important. You know, I know, yes, it's only a differential, but for me, get the crud out, get the filth out, and you're just going to have a better overall situation. Now, also, this is an example of get your stuff together. Get yourself together, you know, when you're doing this, because this is a job where you can't stop to answer a phone. You can't stop to, you know, use the bathroom or talk to someone or something like that. You've got to go, and you've got to really just go at it, get it in there, and get it done until you've got it. Now, I could have went and heated this area up with a torch. That probably would have worked some, but I don't know, to me, I just kind of felt like that was maybe a bit excessive, and I didn't want to like cause any sort of issues with the surrounding cast iron, you know. And then not only that, you're heating up a large, you know, just this area, but then the area all around it is trying to cool or get to the same temperature. So you would be fighting, you know, anytime you're doing this, you're fighting time. You know, time where the stuff that it was in the freezer was in the freezer, and the stuff that came out of, like, that pinion shaft, or the pinion shaft bearing, where it came off of the grill, and it was really, really super hot. As you've seen, that was what I consider a total success, because it just fell right down on there nearly. So, anyway, all right. I'm going to clean this all up in here, and then I'm going to start working on putting the pinion shaft in, and hopefully that is all going to work out well too. Okay, so that's going to be my next little bits, and go ahead and start. See, I've got a pan down there to catch everything, so, okay. All right. Okay, this isn't all that exciting or educational, really. I mean, you should know by now. You should know how to clean your own parts up. But we're going to, I'm going to carry on with this. I'll pick all of this up in a part 2, okay? Because this video is already 24 minutes long. All right. Thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate all that you do. All the questions, the comments, the subscribes, the shares, the likes, and everything else. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting on, man? Come on. I mean, hey, you know? So, there we go. Okay. Thank you and God bless.